Where did HIV/AIDS come from?
Yeah, HIV/AIDS originated from some monkeys in Africa, some human primates in Africa, Southern Africa, about 19th or 20th century. What they believed then was that the virus HIV was in the monkey population, and then when humans went to the forest to kill the monkeys, and during the killing process or slaughtering process, the monkey blood must have spilled into entered the human blood, human cut, and that will remember the virus to enter the bloodstream of the human, and they start multiplying. So the origin is supposed to be from the macaque species of monkeys, chimpanzees found in Southern Africa.
Yeah, my question is, what's the difference between HIV and AIDS?
Okay, AIDS, which is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is a chronic, life-threatening condition that is caused by HIV virus. What happens is that the virus, when it enters the body, it multiplies, and in the immune cells, in the cells that help to defend the body against infection. So when it multiplies, it overwhelms. When it multiplies, it destroys the cells we call the T helper cells. The T helper cells are the cells that help you to ward off infections, simple infections like common cold, and so on and so forth. So AIDS, is the syndrome that is caused by HIV, by the virus, human immunodeficiency virus.
If you refrain from having sexual intercourse, can you still get AIDS?
If you refrain from having sexual intercourse, you drastically cut down, your chance of acquiring AIDS. But also, you increase that chances if you do other things like shooting drugs, using contaminated needle, or sharing needle with somebody who is infected already with HIV. And also, you can increase your chance of acquiring AIDS by if you receive blood transfusion or organ transplant, from most third world countries, especially like in Africa, where they haven't screened all those transplants and blood. The United States, since 1985, blood has gone through very stringent screening to make sure that we don't have HIV, the virus in the blood we transfuse to individuals.
If blood cells are the host of HIV/AIDS, how does sex cause it?
Okay, what happens is that for infected individuals, infected men or women, the sperm from the male will be laden with the virus, and also the vaginal secretion from the female will be laden with the virus. So when there is a sexual intercourse, the virus from the vaginal secretion of the female will be passed through the urethra of the male, and once there's any damage in the urethral wall of the male, then the virus can then get entry into the bloodstream. Once it gets entry to the bloodstream, it specifically goes to attack the immune cells, the T cells. And once it attacks those T cells that help your body to fight infection, then the body immune system is reduced, and then the person will succumb to infections that are very common all over. The same was for the female. During sexual intercourse with infected male, the sperm, is laden with the virus, and then once the male ejaculates to the female, the virus will escape from the sperm, and attach into the mucosa of the female vaginal wall, and they can get entry, into the blood through that. So, since it's a virus, it requires something living to multiply. So once it goes into the body, okay, it basically looks for the immune cells, T helper cells we call it, and inside that immune cells it will multiply. Once it multiplies, over time it will, it will destroy the T cells. When you destroy these T cells, that is when your CD4 T helper cell count goes down low. Then the body becomes vulnerable to other kinds of opportunistic infections, like you might have, fungal infection. Very often, might have common cold, and might have in a chronic situation, you have some form of skin cancer we call Kaposi sarcoma.
Okay, how is HIV transmitted or not transmitted?
If you share a needle with infected person, if you practice unsafe sex with somebody who is infected, Also for people who go to third world countries and receive blood transfusion, most of that blood may not have been screened for HIV or receive organ transplant. Some of those organs may not have been screened for HIV. So those are ways they can be transmitted. So if you avoid all those conditions, then you would also prevent yourself from being affected by the virus. Additionally, also for women who are pregnant, we have observed that you can transmit the virus to the unborn child. So the best thing, for pregnant women is to get tested, and if they discover that there is virus in their body, in the blood, then they might give you some antiretroviral drugs, that will help them to prevent the transmission from the mother to the unborn child. You cannot get HIV or AIDS from kissing somebody. You can't get AIDS from shaking somebody's hands. You can't get AIDS from hugging somebody who has AIDS. You cannot get it at all. But there's a lot of myth that people can get before. A lot of big myth. People can get AIDS from shaking hands or French kiss somebody or hugging. You cannot get AIDS from that. You cannot get AIDS by staying with somebody in the classroom. You cannot get it at all from that. So it's a misconception.
What are the initial symptoms of HIV/AIDS?
The very first time somebody gets the virus to their body, you may not have any symptoms. I feel just normal. Maybe the first 2 weeks, you might start having flu-like symptoms, swollen lymph nodes. You might have chills, weight loss. Then as the time progresses, if not tested, within 9 to 10 years, those symptoms become much more magnified, because the whole immune system, the defense cells, are all destroyed. You have a very low CD4 count, very low T helper cell count. That will make it more vulnerable. That's where the full-blown symptoms come in. Then the individual also can become more vulnerable to some opportunistic infections like common fungal infection, have pneumonia. Some individuals also have some form of skin cancer they call Kaposi sarcoma.
My question is, what should you do if you find out you have HIV/AIDS?
When you find out you have HIV/AIDS, I'm sure your doctor will be aware of that. Your doctor will give you, before ever the test is done for you, he will give you a pre-test counseling, talk to you about HIV/AIDS, how to prevent it, how to prevent it, how to avoid infecting others. Then after the test, if you are positive, he also give you a post test counseling, whereby you refer you to some supportive some support systems, support communities. Then he will also report this to the public health department, that would institute probable treatment to you. The public health will then call you, then assign a physician who is an infectious disease expert, who will help you, and then treat you to make sure you get better, you live longer, more productive life. All the same, you owe it a responsibility on your own part to inform your partner about your status, so that he or she can get tested. Then you have to refrain from risky behaviors, like having multiple partners. Then any sexual intercourse at that point has to use common sense. Either you abstain, or you could use a condom. But have to inform your partner. So that they can get tested also. Then if you are prone to donating blood, blood or semen, you should then stop that, because once you do that, then you would also help to propagate the viral transmission. So certain things, it asks for personal responsibility on your own part to prevent the transmission cycle, transmission cascade for this very virus.